Hi, my name is Pallav Paul and this video is for my custom program submission in the unit Introduction to Programming. My user ID is 1034-84306. First off, I'll demonstrate you the gameplay of my program. When you start, the instruction screen pops up. This shows you the instructions of how to play the game, and on closing this, you'll go into the main menu. You'll be able to see the main menu and its options. From the home page, you can navigate to the leaderboard where the top scorers are listed. These are preloaded from the text file. Now we go back to the main menu, and here we put in the username so that it appears on the leaderboard after we finish the game. Now on the right hand side of the screen, you can see the backgrounds of cities where you can choose to complete the course in. I'll go for the third one. So the game starts. So your main objective will be to complete the course before the leaderboard timings without getting eliminated, that is falling into the potholes or completely finishing your health bar by colliding into the red balls, that is the coronavirus. Alternatively, you can try to collect these vaccines which will increase your health. You can try to take these alternative paths so as to avoid the potholes or obstructions on your way and try to complete the course as fast as you can. So you can see I completed the course in 48 seconds and it shows that I have landed a place on the leaderboard. So I'll try to go and check by running the program again. So here we can see that my name appears with the score and I'm on the 5th place right now. We go back to the home screen. So the last time around I chose the third background. This time I'll go to the second background just to show you. So the background loads up and you can just start playing. Try to avoid the potholes or you'll lose the game. That's it from the gameplay. Now I'll try to walk you through the code for the program. In the beginning, I try to initialize the variables that I need, the objects. Here I have initialized the player class and just below it, I set the initial values when it's first spawned into the screen. I've used the Chipmunk library to create the project so that I could avoid the physics interactions of the objects and could focus more on the logic of the game. For this, I had to go through a unit resource that was given as a part of the module for the unit. Next, I draw the players onto the screen. These are all methods that are related to the player. Some of them return the X coordinate of the player, some of them return the Y coordinate of the player, while some of them control the player movements like over here. Here we try to detect the collisions between the vaccine or the COVID virus between the player and try to remove the objects that have collided and reduce or increase the health consequently. In this part of the code, I've tried to initialize the hydrants, the blue water hydrant that you can see are spawned throughout the course of the game. In the terrain class, we have mainly tried to build the terrain, the floor, the invisible floor on which the player runs, and the holes, the potholes through which the player can fall into and lose the game. Here I've tried to implement 3 levels, first of which has no holes, second has some pre-mentioned holes at X coordinates, and the third where the holes are initialized randomly throughout the course. This is the part where I've set the properties of the vaccine and initialized its shape, the body shape and its bounds. Next, I have created a struct to store the properties of the camera so that it can translate and store the offset of the camera and move the window accordingly so that the player stays in the middle. Now we enter into the main class where we have initialized, drawn and updated the frames. Over here I have made a function call so as to initialize the objects on the Gosu window. Over here I tried to add the bricks, the golden bricks, the hydrants to the Gosu window. Next, we try to move the game window according to the movements of the player. Here we translate the camera so that the player stays on the middle. Movements. Now, over here I've used the button down function to implement the player jump so that the player doesn't keep on jumping when the spacebar is pressed. Here I've drawn all the objects, the players, the virus, the vaccines, the bricks, the platforms on the screen so that it is visible on the Gosu window. Now when the player is able to complete the course, I call the leaderboard function so as to check if the player's score is eligible enough to have a place on the leaderboard. Now I'll move on to the main menu, the code for the main menu. So in this part of the code, I have mainly coded the functions that are to be carried out when a particular part of the screen is clicked. Here I've drawn the menu options and the city backgrounds. And at the very top, I have initialized a class called textfield from the Gosu library, so as to take an input from the user of its username so that it can be utilized later on the leaderboard. So that is it from the code. I hope you like the code structure, and thank you for watching the video.